Nightmare Slayer. I'm a little bit late tonight, you know, doing my first game review, but you know how it is as a local live broadcaster. You got a lot of things on your plate at one time in one day. But I do have the Horrible Game Goddess with me.
Hey, what's up?
Yep. We're gonna jump into like a game that I actually started my entire YouTube channel with, and that is Bully. Like, it took this one game for me to get to where I am so far. I'm not nowhere like too advanced yet, but I'm at a very good number and a good height for how long I've been doing this so far. So basically I just want to give you all like a review of my experience playing this game from the beginning all the way to the end of it, and you know, thus far of everything that's went down. Pretty much for anyone who is brand new that doesn't know anything about Bully and you're just kind of seeing it for the first time, Bully is made by Rockstar Games. It was like their, I guess, teenage version of something not too far-fetched from Grand Theft Auto. It's pretty interesting. You know, it's a lot of things you can do on here. It's always something to do, and it takes place in a school, so you're not exactly just in the regular city, just, you know, going, I guess you would say, shooting or driving and just causing mayhem like you would normally do. So on here, it's actually more school and teenage base of like a child, I guess you could say. You know, they had to keep it kind of rated where a child can actually play this in a sense. The storyline is amazing. You know, I definitely like the fact that, you know, it takes place at a school because it makes you have to go to class, and you know, you have to get grades and you have to pass this and pass that just to actually pass the class, or you know, advance and, you know, do this and do that to get things in the game, especially important things that you might want or need. So it definitely does have a very interesting storyline. I actually beat the game, so now I don't have much to do actually, but the last mission that's highlighted, which is this one, Complete Mayhem, is up there as a repeat. So if I ever decided to play that last part again, I actually can by free will, but since I already beat it, it's probably no point in doing it because it was just a very long stretch mission. So I'm just going to kind of give you just some riding around, free roaming, and kind of show you the town as I talk about things. Let me see. So yeah, I'm going to actually go take you to the school so you can kind of see where the main storyline takes place overall. Like, if anything else on here, it'll be the school grounds. Alright, so here's our school. So anybody that does know the game or that doesn't, you all know the game starts here at Bulworth Academy. You get dropped off here at the front gate by mom and stepdad. So, you know, you go in and pretty much have to get into an altercation at the very beginning of the game. There's the school in front of you. The boys' dorm is over here.
Why would Mr. Hack
The girls' dorm is over there. So pretty much it's like almost a private school with all the works put inside of it. So this is where majority of the game does take place for at least, I want to say, 2 full chapters. And once you actually get released, then, you know, you get to go around and explore the world like how I was just at. You can interact with almost anybody and, you know, everybody in a sense, but I'd just say be very careful and wary of who you do interact with, because sometimes certain people will start something with you or make a big deal out of something so small. So, you know, just kind of watch your path of who you cross on here. Like this guy right here, he's a little upset trying to attack me, so, you know, kind of want to be careful about who you come across. I guess since I don't have too many other live viewers at the moment, or, you know, reviewers that comment at the time, I'll ask Horrible Goddess a few questions about the game. She was with me during most of my experience as well, so during my other videos, you know, I'll actually have some people involved and, you know, get to asking questions or see what they think about this and that and the third, just in case anybody out there that does come across this at some point wants to know the exact same questions or something not too far off from it. So basically, Goddess, do you have any questions of the game that anybody might, you know, feel to ask?
Well, I think my main question would kind of be, just as like a viewer slash fan and, you know, co-broadcaster, what would you say was your favorite group to take out? You know how you had to kind of like take out different gangs one by one that was part of the school. Like, which one did you enjoy the most taking out?
Time to pay back the faculty for all their kindness.
I'd probably say
you know what kindness means.
Box? No, the okay, I'd say yeah, the boxing with the preps. Out of all people, they actually at least put up a fight. As stuck up and arrogant as they were, they you know, they made it so interesting that they actually put up a fight that was worth fighting them in the game for. So it wasn't just like, you know, how on GTA you just shoot a person, they just drop dead, and you know that's the end, the cops gonna get you. On here, the preps are like, when you attack them in a boxing situation, they actually get the jump in you, and it'll kind of amp you up to make you want to fight them even more. And you know, they talk very smarmy for their character, which was cool at the same time. You know, it gets to you and makes you feel like you want to beat them that much more. But it was definitely because I got the box, and I felt like out of all the things I can get out of any character lineup of a certain faction, theirs was the most interesting because it gave me something useful, which was boxing, of course. So even afterwards, I learned how to box, and it was a skill I can use even outside of that throughout the rest of the game.
Definitely.
And anybody that's wondering why I'm cutting grass, if you have been paying close attention to like any of my other playlist broadcasts of this game, and you'll notice that I never not once cut grass, and that's simply because I never got in trouble to have to cut grass. But on here, it just seems to be that on my broadcast of the review, I happen to get in trouble for the first time ever, and to the extent of having detention. So, hey Lil Mo, what's up?
Hey Mo.
This is their version of detention. So when you get detention on here, depending on how bad or you know how many times you build it in a day, they'll pretty much make you do something to try to get you your payback, to make them feel like you know got your just desserts, I guess you could say. So this right here is level 1 of trouble, having me cut grass, and then I believe level 2 is like something even worse where I don't know, they might have me like pooping dog poop or something. I don't know, it gets worse. It's actually fun for some people. Some people don't mind cutting grass, but at least in the other housing developments where you cut their grass, you actually get paid for it. When you do it for the school, that's just trying to humiliate you and let you know that you effed up. So, yeah, I got nothing out of that, just to clarify.
I don't know, it does seem kind of like relaxing to do something like that because there's no combat involved and it's very simple. It's almost like how I feel when I have those occasional days that I get on Far Cry and I'm like, hey, you know, maybe I should just fish today or go hunting. I still get fishing, but you know, the hunting, you know, gets a little interesting occasionally. So everybody has their thing, and some people, they may still kind of, you know, like the cutting grass thing because it sets a different tone for the game.
Oh yeah, everybody, oh shit. Everybody has their own preference of what they like to do, so you know, it's definitely an interest rate, but oh no! Or like, you know, how far you can go and stuff, or whatever interests one person may interest another. Or vice versa.
I'm going to nip your crime spree in the bud.
Seems that even after beating the game and like defying and passing school and everything else, like the security still wants my head on the stick no matter.
Oh yeah.
Being as that is, just to throw out there as well, in the beginning of the game, how I told everybody in probably video 1 or 2, don't actually fight the security because they're just impossible to take on. Once you actually beat up until I want to say level, oh, he saved my life, level I want to say 3 or chapter 3, I think you get about that far in the game. I want to say they actually take some of the attention down off of them a bit, so if you do have like issues with them, you actually can fight them off a little bit more than ever before. So being that I actually beat the game and, you know, I advanced my levels of fighting and everything else you would imagine, pretty much the security's no match for me. I can literally knock one of these guys out, and in the beginning of the game you can't even get close to doing that, because at least by the 4th or 5th punch they'd be done grabbed you, did some type of spin and slammed you down anyway. So it was almost an impossible win. But now I can actually beat these guys if I really wanted to.
Maybe.
But I'm actually trying to pass this little side quest for this kid right now that wants me to stuff people in trash can. Yeah, him right there. So that's the only reason why I'm not really trying to fight off the security too much right now, because I don't want to mess up the side quest until I complete it. But you have any other questions that may be of interest to, I guess, the whole game?
So about these classes, what was your favorite one, and what was your least favorite one, and why?
Good question. Well, as most people, I do hate school, but I would say gym class was probably my favorite, only because it was the very easiest class out of all, and because you can actually get physical with your enemies, like him, for example, Damon. And for example, in that, you'll have something between the gym class only provides you with two types of classes: dodgeball or wrestling. Wrestling was always easy because it's nothing but just pretty much slamming around your opponent and just learning new fight styles, so it was nothing to it at all. Dodgeball, on the other hand, you're actually playing dodgeball, so you can actually physically, like, take out your team, your opposite team with the ball and just, like, you know, almost make them submit to you in a sense. So it made it that much more interesting. Now, my least favorite class of all, I would have to definitely say shop class. It looked kind of easy when I was doing it, but the trick is that class is so advanced to the way that it looks that, trust me, it's not as easy as it looks. Like, that's the class that you have to press a whole sequence of buttons, like, back to back to back. There's no chill, and you pretty much have to even spin the dial of your toggle stick. So everything is so fast paced in every level of that class that you have to be ready and on it. So it actually unlocks you a bicycle, and it upgrades every bike that you get in the game, and that's convenient. But it's just the thought that one little slip up and it'll like end that class so fast. Now, almost chemistry class can be considered the same, but at least you see the buttons you have to push ahead of time before it pops up in the box. Now, shop class, you don't get a chance. It just pops up randomly, and your fingers have to be fast enough to hit the button. So that's kind of the biggest difference of it.
You're getting awfully uppity.
Okay, that's understandable. I would have to say another interesting point about this game is their relationship system.
Oh yeah.
You definitely encountered some very interesting girlfriends. What would you say was your favorite?
Well, matter of fact, where's she at? I just passed her. No, not her. You actually
I
do
know
get
what
to
you
date
started
this
out
girl.
with was quite hideous. Very hideous.
Well, we're not gonna bring her into this.
Oh, we're gonna
her
bring
right
her
here.
into it. It's only right.
Misty, this girl right here, Misty with the red hair, the school gossiper. If out of all the girlfriends that actually had some sense in there, so I think she was probably the most convenient one. She is the I want to say she's not the head of the cheerleading squad, but she is a cheerleader, which probably figures. She's one of my favorite ones. I actually have two. Zoe is another one, but you might not see her too often because she kind of got kicked out of the school, but she will be somewhere around here off and on just because I passed the game, so she might pop up and she'll be the one dressed down in like street clothes. But it's gonna be a little tricky to see her pop up. I'd almost have to look thoroughly for her for you guys, but it's probably gonna be a trick to try. I might just have to go to her house. But basically the two of those are my top, I'd have to say, just because they're so different. I mean, Lola is the only other girl that everybody likes for some reason because she dressed down in her biker clothes and she looks so go hard. But Lola is a what's the word? She's a lot to handle and deal with. So you know, it's like if you don't have it in you to deal with somebody like that, it's no point in like building yourself on, trying to lead yourself on with her, because she's an irritating somebody, I can tell you that. My worst girlfriend of all is definitely Eunice. Out of all the girls, she was nothing attractive whatsoever, and she just was, well, I'd almost have to show you guys her too. Like, I don't even have the right word for her. She just was something that I wouldn't have chosen for myself. Now naturally, any other girls inside the school period, you got the ability to date them. They won't be as highlightedly important, but you can still date them. And here's my wall of girlfriends, or I guess you could say exes right here. So there's Zoe right there. She's the one in the white shirt with the stomach showing. That's her. Misty, the one I was actually no, I wasn't talking to her. Where's she at?
Why is my underwear?
Oh,
You
she
have
must
a
have been a side
girlfriend
girl.
wall.
Oh
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
Yep, we have her. Beatrice, you probably seen her just a few seconds ago passing us by. Lola, there she is right there with the leather all black on. And here is, I want to say, Mindy. No, Mindy's the other one. Dang, what is her name? It's something not too far off, but I'll get it. And then the pair of undies, I don't know whose those are, but you notice that out of all the girls we actually had to date on this game, the only girl that isn't on that wall is Eunice, the one that I almost did want to show you. That ought to tell you something. It wasn't meant to be. It was not meant to be, folks.
Interesting.
He seems to be in the midst of a thunderstorm. Is he smoking? He is smoking. You little sneaky. Look at him. He is over here smoking, and he tried to do it where the teachers won't catch him, so he's trying to hide inside the wall on the inside of the dorm.
Oh yeah, he's chilling over there.
He getting his smoke on. Now, a lot of times when you play this game, you don't actually see stuff like this unless you thoroughly look around to notice the Easter eggs in the game. Little things like that do happen, just to throw out there. Your character can't technically smoke as Jimmy Hopkins, which I am right now, but you'll catch the other NPCs doing random things every blue moon that just will be questionable, so just don't be alert if you come across some very surprising things. I've seen things I could never explain. But yeah, so hold up, I know he ain't trying to fight. I will beat shit down. Do you want these hands? Hold up, oh y'all want to jump me? Hold up, nerds. What the? Hold up. Ooh, ooh, what's up? Okay, somebody wanted to get their ass whooped. Is it you?
You'll be prosecuted to
No,
the
you gotta prosecute them, yeah. They don't want to fight me. I'll beat y'all ass. Now I'm really mad. Y'all got me in trouble and shit. Is he bad now? Oh! Alright. That's the result of what can happen if you let your health bar get so low. So, I guess since it did happen, I'll highlight that as well. Throughout the game of my gameplay, that didn't happen to me too often. You know, it happened every so often or whatever for certain missions and certain things I did, but most of the time I don't really let myself get knocked out. A lot of other people that play the game might play just thoughtlessly, and you might see them actually get knocked out more often than most. So everybody's game style is a different play of how they go about things in this type of game. Like I said, look at what we have here. A perfect example of Easter eggs hidden within the game that you almost never see unless you walk up on it and just happen to point it out. Yeah. So it looks like Vincent and Mindy are having a thing going on. Oh yeah, I gotta finish this fight with them since he wanna call me out. Oh yeah, anybody that's wondering, on this game, since it is made by Rockstar and you don't get the exact ability to literally shoot somebody, like with a gun per se, you can shoot them with, where is it, a slingshot and I don't have it on me, but it's a rocket sort of gun, like a bottle rocket gun. Those are like their toy versions of, oh my gosh, I thought that was somebody else standing right there. That's Russell. The biggest kid in the whole school. But he's a friendly though, so he's a good guy.
Need to smash some nerds now.
Anyway, yeah, so you guys should get to shoot with like a bottle rocket and a slingshot. That's the closest they'll give you to a gun on here. And then fighting physically is your other method of just, well, physically attacking someone. As you saw what I just did with Russell here, I paid him some money to like protect me, so he's the only character in the whole school that you can actually get away with doing this with, paying him and he'll help you out. Now, I don't know if he'll help you against the security because it seems like he's not doing nothing to them yet, but I know as far as the students, he will defend you, so like if you ever get in a fight and he just happens to be around, he'll defend you for that. But I guess also because I'm violating curfew, they don't want me to have him with me right now, so I have to go inside the dorm. You're supposed to be inside your dorm at least no later than 11 o'clock at night. So that's why they're like on my ass right now about chasing me around. What other questions did you have, Goddess, for the people?
Well, you notice how, you know, they have like an overall pretty urban environment, but you know, you had to kind of go across different little towns and different little sections of town, I should say. You know, for those who haven't yet finished the game, or who may be just interested in wanting to know more about the environments that each of the classes of characters come from, I think you should probably like give them a heads up and let them know about each environment separately.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Throughout the game you have, why did I just put my uniform on? Throughout the game you have different factions. I say that as another more positive way of saying crews or gangs and stuff. Pretty much you'll have, I want to say 5, if I had to think off the top of my head without actually literally counting them to be correct. I want to say it is 5, but basically you'll have about 4 to 5 factions, and they all have their own, I guess, style of dressing and their own ins and outs of what they do and what they want and how they interact. So, for example, to make sense of it as I'm explaining, actually we might do have 5. Okay, so the guy right here with the green on, the green vest, and this guy right here with the green school sweater, they're not like an important faction, but they'll be considered just your typical base school game kids. You know, they'll just be like the regular school kids in a sense. The white shirts are considered bullies. I know like everybody's considered a bully in a sense, how the game goes, but technically they're the initial bullies of the game, because the white shirts are supposed to be like the badasses and stuff, just always getting into fights and trouble. Now, I'm actually going to go out here and show you the other types of people so that everything makes sense. So yeah, you know the dark green sweaters and vests are like the regular base game kids, and the white shirts are considered bullies. The little, where they at? I know they're around here somewhere. I might actually not be able to find too many people right now because they just went to class, but I'm going to try to see who I can find. Most of the girls are either cheerleaders, nerds, or they're part of like just the base game club. These are the bullies, so of course they're in no rush to go to class because they're just more like the skip class crew. You can say that. Everybody else kind of goes to class, so it makes sense why you still see them outside just with no urge to go anywhere. The little kids, while I'm in the thought of it, little kids like him, for example, it's like I think 4 of them total, 2 guys, 2 girls. Make sure on every level of your being that you do not interact with them in a harmful way, because if you hurt them in any type of way, the security will be on your ass like the police on a criminal. Like, they will get you, and they take little kids to heart like on here. So like it's almost like you picking on a child and you're an adult. That's how they would look at it on here. So it's definitely best to not do nothing to the kids on here. Okay, these guys, I found the nerds. Okay, so anybody that's dressed like how I'm dressed right now, they pretty much have the look of their title. They're considered the nerds. So the nerds have their own faction. They're the weakest ones in the whole school. They're conniving little cunts though. You know, definitely keep an eye on them because they're sneaky little bastards. And they will try stuff like he's going down with his little gun because he couldn't fight me, so he had to pull out a weapon.
You're ugly.
So they, you know, they had their own distinctive look at how they fight. As you can see, look how he's fighting me, where he's doing the windmill. You know, he has to throw the arms, and then, you know, he's just a stick. You know, I could break him if I really wanted to. Just a few punches and he's down. So everybody has their own like strength meter too. So depending on who you come across, like I said, nerds being the weakest ones, they're easier to fight. Next you'll have the greasers. The greasers are the tough guys in the school. They wear leather jackets and they hang out by the auto shop. They look like something from a 1950s and 60s sort of era of just like the badasses that ride motorcycles and just smoke and, you know, get all the girls type of thing. They're kind of stuck in the past with their style, but they're pretty cool guys. Here's one of them, for example, right here. So basically, oh here we go. Here goes some more. They like to destroy things and just break stuff and cause havoc. So they're known as the fake tough guys, where they talk tough, they look tough, but in reality they aren't really so bad. See, he's talking, but he's not doing anything. Unless, yeah, they jump over. See how they stand around? They almost got to fight in a pack. So if one leads them on, then they'll try to get involved. But nobody actually wants to take me on one-on-one. Now watch this. See, now that I took something on with him, look, everybody want to jump in all of a sudden. That's how they do. They don't know how to fight alone. They want to fight in groups. That's what they do, though. And they're the tough guys, so, you know, it makes sense. They're supposed to be like a gang. But they're actually pretty cool, though, in their missions and stuff. But, you know, they can become irritating. Yeah, they deep as shit. Okay, we're gonna move on and go. I could have beat everybody, but it's just too many to be trying to take my energy out on. My life was already low, so I'm not even going to let it get to that point. Oh shit, you almost got me there. Alright, so let's look for the next faction. What do we have here? Alright, the preppies, and he's kissing my girlfriend. Ain't that a son of a bitch? Hold on, who is... Dude, come on, I ain't got help for this shit. He's not gonna get up. I'm gonna have to knock him out before he knocks me out. There we go. Alright, so once I lay his ass out, here we go. Now this guy right here with the blue vest on that's running with me, he is considered a preppy. The preppies are the stuck-up, arrogant brats of the school that pretty much all about money and all about boxing and stuff, because their families inherited so much money into the school that they can't ever be told off or what to do. Well, just because of that. So they might get away with the most stuff within the whole school just because of that one reason, because their parents put so much money into the school as it is. I mean, literally, I'm about to go show you why I say that, and it'll actually make more sense to you when I show it that, you know, yeah. The leader of the preppies is his name is Darby Harrington, and he's probably the most stuck up one of them all. And the reason he's the leader is, look at this. Let me see if I can get my camera for you. The Harrington house. His parents spent so much money into this school, they actually bought my man his own entire dorm. His own freaking dormitory. On the school grounds. In the school grounds with a private garden and everything. So, yeah. Well, yeah. Takes a lot of money to get something like that done, and that much effort to really want your kid to go to school that bad. So,
oh yeah,
yeah, it's dedication there. The other faction actually was just by them that we're missing is the jocks. As noted, they are the bully tough guy combination of the school. They're the athletes, professionals, JV and varsity, junior varsity and varsity. So you'll have like different sizes and types of the football players. Him being the, well yeah, Damon right here, he being the right hand man to the head of the jock. So you'll see him more often than anybody else probably. But pretty much they're like, unless you already know how to beat them, they're not somebody you want to rush a fight with, because they will get the dog in the hell out of you for just the apparent reason that they're the toughest. Literally, physically. So, you know, as you can see, they are the athletes, so it's the reason why they're catching up to me, because they're that much faster, because they are athletic. But, and yeah, he knocks me out. But, so yeah, those are the jocks. Everybody, as you can tell, are usually found in their own territories. Like, the nerds, we found them in the library. Outside the library, the jocks were right there on the football field. The greasers were found by the auto shop. The bullies are found usually just everywhere because they like to bully people. Am I missing anybody? The preppies are found at the Harrington house, and cheerleaders, you would almost rarely ever see them unless you're in gym class, but they're usually there nearby the gym class. I think that's all the factions. Oh, and the school dropouts, you won't exactly see them in school at all. They're always going to be outside of the school grounds. So look at his bald head ass.
I shall name thee.
But I mean, this, for anyone who's wondering, who the hell is he? I don't even know. He looks like a new teacher. I guess he's replacing Mr. Burton. He got nerve to be taking somebody down. I thought this was the science teacher, but he looks different. so I'm not sure who that is actually. Yeah, because he has a mustache and none of them did, so I don't know. But yeah, you'll see teachers occasionally walking around, not often, but occasionally they'll pop up in the scene and walk around the school grounds and stuff, so you'll notice them every blue moon.
If I don't get that A, my mom will...
Any other final questions you have dedicated to anything that you might have known, seen, or experienced with me throughout my journey of the playlist?
Well, I'd say for those who may have played this game on the original console it was released on, which was, I believe, what, PlayStation 2?
Yep.
I would say, you know, would you overall recommend this game to them? And, you know, why would it be worth returning back to play this game now on the next-gen system?
Well, I definitely do highly recommend this game, especially for anybody that's into like going back to school to get the feel of it, or if you're already in school and you just kind of want to make it something more interesting for yourself. This is definitely a highly recommended game for that, because you can do so much, and it's like never nothing that you can't do. It's just so much fun always. And as far as previous players of the game from PlayStation 2 as I am, I would definitely say that yes, go for it, get the game. You know how it is already. You played it before, so you know what it's like pretty much more than a person who's never played it.
Please help.
And the interest of it is the fact that, oh shit, yeah, anything's possible. You know, anything can happen almost. And pretty much that I like on here. I mean, it looks the exact same. Of course, the graphics aren't too far off.
I wonder what everyone
but it's just the fact that it made it all the way from PlayStation 2 to coming on to PlayStation 3 and now on PlayStation 4. So that tells me right there that it was a classic game in such a good reality form that the Rockstar had to like advance it all the way through every PlayStation that came out from the part 2. So it was like something that they didn't even want to tweak or edit because it was good as it was.
Yeah.
You know, some classics don't need to be re-edited, and they felt that this was one of them. So I definitely stand by them strongly with this game. They didn't take anything and up. I think that's what's most important to me. The fact, you know, start over and do it again. Just try to go about it a different.
Come back when you don't suck.
Now, as you got, oh, well, I guess he wouldn't fight one of his own people. He's the leader of the bullies, if you probably were wondering. He might be the only leader around or just popping up. The other leaders, they're in the game, but you would almost never ever see them. He's a force to be reckoned with, if you're wondering. Alright, looks like they had a bit of a breakup. Before we seen them making out, and now it looks like things went sour. Kind of throw out there for anybody that's still kind of wondering, the game does provide very excellent views of chapters and such. Like they have interesting, I think there's 5 chapters in all, maybe 6, but in every chapter they have like a different storyline that comes into it, and everything is just so randomly set that it's just always so much entertainment to go with, and you just never know what to expect from it. They have very great holidays on here. They do Christmas, they do Halloween, and I think that's the only 2 that I remember off the top. But I know that, yeah, they do celebrate Christmas and Halloween on here. So literally you get to dress up for both. You get to interact with missions that have to do with both and make it as real as you can. Speaking of dressing up, you get to go buy costumes and change your clothes as much as you want. You get to wear what you want to school after a while. Best to start off with the uniform, at least until the school grounds get used to what you're wearing. Then, you know, kind of work your way into whatever else you feel like wearing. But you can pretty much wear anything. You can you got different technical vehicles, like you got bikes, a skateboard. You can get a go-kart at some point if you actually go to the carnival enough and actually beat the races. So it's like very important to stay on top of certain things if you want it bad enough. And you get a very good selection of weapons and stuff that you can use to protect and defend yourself. And yeah, you unlock a whole bunch of fighting styles as you gameplay. You know, you learn where to get it from, what to do, and how it goes. So it's just so many different techniques in this game that are like so possible, and things that you can just do that, you know, you wouldn't almost think that you can do. So definitely, if you do like this game, you like the broadcast, you like all of the stream that I put together, definitely check it out. You know, look it up on PlayStation Store. It's called Bully. It should be the same price as always, which is $14.99. I recommend it highly. You're hearing it from me directly, Nightmare Slayer. So, you know, definitely check this game out. And with that all being said and everything kind of put out there, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it down for my review of my very first video, which was taking place on this game called Bully. I do hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope I inspired you all to get it and buy it, or play it at least, and check it out if nothing else. Once again, definitely check out my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and subscribe. It is at the bottom of your screen on the left hand side. My Twizted Gaming Experience, spelled exactly how you see it. And also, if you haven't and you would like to, join my personal community page, which is also right there on the right hand side of your screen at the bottom. Anything you like to throw out there, Horrible Goddess?
It's just been a really fun experience, being able to see you play this game, and you know, just wanted to let everyone know that's listening out there and viewing out there that, you know, this game is really dope. It's a lot of fun. I played around with it on PS2 and PS3, so I highly recommend it as well.
You're not gonna hit me, are you?
Cool. Yep, so pretty much I'm going to go ahead and just wrap it down. Just want to give you all one last look at my room before I, you know, shut it down.
Leave me alone.
Very important as you do play the game and you do missions and stuff. Every mission you pass, you'll collect something. So everything you kind of see on my walls or anywhere in the room came from a mission. So if your room is still empty, then that means you have a lot of work to go through. But if you have stuff, it'll build up more and more. So it's definitely important to stay on top of that. And because it's the only way to beat the game, so, you know. But definitely keep that in mind, you know. Do missions and unlock stuff, make your room look cool, you know, make it look like you're rebellious, and, you know, kick ass. Alright, until next time, I will see you guys on my next video broadcast of a live stream. I don't know if it'll be another review yet, or me getting into a whole nother game, but definitely check me out. Once again, I am under my Twizted Gaming Experience at the bottom left hand of your screen. You can find me on YouTube, and you know, just feel free to join and, you know, let me know what you think. You know, write me, feel free to reach out to me. Alright guys, talk to you later.
Bye guys.